So flew home from Las Vegas. I had a layover in Dallas. It was like a 5.5 hour flight, including the layover and connection, plus the time at the airport and all the coordinating. It was probably 8, 9. It was probably 10 hours to get from Vegas back to my living room. So here I am. It's only been, I had 2 days off. And now I'm sitting at the Texas Canyon Rest Stop in Benson, Arizona. This is my stopping point to make it back to Southern California from San Antonio. In this project, they were going to fly me, but I wanted to have my van because we're going to be on the road for 2 weeks, and I would have been a passenger. I probably could have got my own rental car, but at any rate, I wanted to bring the truck so I can make my own meals, take naps, and just be kind of autonomous, plus have all my additional support gear instead of like 2 Pelican airline cases and a backpack. Made a great time. I left my house at 0700 Central Time, and it's now 1940 Central Time. So 12.5 hours on the road. That includes the pit stops. I think I got gas 3 times, and those were the only stops I made. Kind of gas, push-ups, restroom. I had 2 tacos. I've only had 1 meal today and some snacks. But yeah, make great time. 12.5 hours, 810 miles, average speed 64. I just chugged along at 65 miles an hour. This van, the mileage efficiency drops off after 65. We had a steady like quartering crosswind for half the drive today that was killing my mileage. I was only getting 13.8 mpgs for several hours at 65 miles an hour. So, and then we got up in the like 21, 22s for the second half. So anyway, average of 19.2 for such a massive vehicle that's a big sale. Really impressed with the economy. I just had a major service on this van. I'm at 100,000, and I was doing the math. I bought this in June of 2020. But I really didn't start clocking the miles till I moved to Texas, which would have been August, which puts me at exactly 18 months of road time. And it had 33,000 when I bought it. So what are we at? 70,000-ish miles in 18 months. I just did, I did the ignition coils and spark plugs myself. I had a shop do front brakes. Got all the way to 100,000 on the factory front and rear brakes. I'm still on my factory rears. New serpentine belt, idler pulley, coolant flush, put in a new fuel filter, transmission fluid and filter. There are a couple other minor things. I got an emissions pressure relief valve. I actually got the part in the back. I haven't installed that yet, but that's overdue. What else? Oh, I got to redo my shocks front and rear. I think that's going to be $1,600 is the quote I got. I'll do that after I get done with this project and get back to Texas. So this is my preferred location in Arizona because for most of the year at night, the elevation's high enough that it cools down to a comfortable temp. I can just run the fan and have my window vents installed. Summertime, and in the winter with the heat running, I'm super comfortable. I've got 2 wool blankets, but I'm not going to need them tonight. When I bought this van, as you've seen maybe in some of my other videos, I had all these ambitious plans to make it this like buffed out, beautiful Vanlife rig / production truck. But the reality is it's a work truck, and I've been so busy working in the time I've had the truck. On my days off, I'm busy doing other household stuff, and I'm just not fired up to work on making the van all beautiful. With that said, I do need to get the 2 side panels on the sides of the bed insulated. I've got all the materials sitting at the house. Insulate this rear door, and then I want to install a curtain on this side of the bunk and a second curtain on this side, twofold. Number one, it's to keep the heat in or the heat out, and then also as just concealment when I'm on set and all the doors are open so I can hide my bunk. Also had the idea of making little cabinets above my feet for personal items. I don't know, I may do that. I put this roughed in this roof paneling. It's got Havelock wall insulation behind it. I never finished the bracket to hold this panel in place. I'll get there, and I've got the insert for the fan. I'm now thinking specifically for working in Texas, like if I drive up to Dallas for a project, and again, I want to sleep in the truck during the day or take a nap, I think I am going to just pull the trigger on the very expensive Dometic 12 volts inverter variable compressor AC. I'll put the model number on the screen. I'm forgetting what it's called. But I think I've got the fan here. I think I'm going to put the AC right here. And then it's got its own thermostat. And because it's variable speed, I'm thinking once I enclose the curtain area, that unit is going to have no problem running on its lowest speed, keeping this area nice and frigid, even in the 100-degree humid Texas summers. And then I'll put in a new battery bank to replace my 2 golf cart batteries, lead acids. I'll put in a couple of, I think just 2 lithium Battleborn batteries. The AC unit pulls, I believe it's between 13 and 19 amps when it's running, and then it obviously cycles, so it's not on all the time. And I think 2 batteries will be just fine. And this cabinet I roughed together out of a I guess 1 sheet of plywood. This was just for my first road trip. I think I spent maybe 2 hours building it, dropping the sink in there. And my plan was just get the first couple jobs done, and then I was going to build nice cabinets with doors or drawers, put in a laminate countertop, make it all beautiful. It's actually still just held in with rope ratchets. But again, it's a work truck, and I've been working. The heat running. I finally upgraded my cart. This has been a plan for quite a while. I've got this touch and go plate, so that when we're traveling around, I can just clip the camera in just like my previous van. But the sheet metal on the cart was so thin that the camera was very bouncy. So I wasn't comfortable leaving it on there for more than very short drives, because I don't want to add all that vibration to the lens mount and all the other components on the camera. And it just freaks people out when I'm on set rolling this cart around and the camera's doing this, even though it's bolted in, it's not going to go anywhere. So cut a 1/4-inch piece of ply, I'm sorry, 1/2-inch ply. And this thing is rock solid now, but it also gets a cushioned ride because I'm on pneumatic tires. So with all the highway bumps and everything, the camera's nice and cushioned. Quite happy with that. With that said, I did pull off my 17 to 120 for the 18-hour drive to San Diego. Behind the passenger seat is where I installed the heater. And I oriented it in this position, well, 1, because it fit there, but 2, I wanted to be able to either heat the cab or the cargo area. And this partition door has got this little pass-through mini door, so I've just been passing the duct through there. But I'm thinking if I do make this a little bit more RV-like at some point, I'm gonna flip this heater, 180 it, so the outlet vent is on the outboard side of the van, and then I'll run it up vertically. It'll clear this headrest right in this channel right here, and I can pass the duct through, run it along the top side here above the side door, and then have an outlet in the bunk area. And I'll also relocate the thermostat into this area. So I spent 1 night in the van. Makes me really appreciate the nice hotel stays. Night 2, got like a little mini suite here with a view of the Mexican Coronado Islands. Imperial Beach, San Diego, California. My last time down here in this town, gosh, a long time ago. I think my son was like 6. We had like a Indian guide camping trip. It's not even called that anymore because that's, I guess, no longer too offensive of a name. So it's some name I can't remember. Anyway, beautiful place. It's like 84 or 85 degrees. Where's that? That's interesting. The bed is up front without a view. Huh. Cool. I feel like I'm in South Beach. I do miss coastal Southern California, but then I have to remind myself that 20 years living in a resort community where people come to vacation and the perfect weather all year long definitely fries your brain and makes you bitter and cynical. At least it did for me. I appreciate it so much more now each time I return, which has been like once a month. So my boat, my former boat, is now in the at the Coronado Yacht Club. I wish I had enough downtime to cruise up there, go try to find it. I haven't seen it in several years. Took care of the valet, and we have our 2 production rigs parked right at the front entrance. They're keeping an eye on it. They'll be out there all night. Here's our SAT truck for the next 2 weeks. Look at this thing. Clear camera. That's another pan tilt zoom standard camera. I think it's a KU uplink. I don't know if it's a C-band as well. I'm gonna learn tomorrow.